Welcome to Win with lifestyle entrepreneurs Josh Williams and Justin Knoll. Each week, we will be bringing you inspiring people or messages to help you win in every aspect of life.
All right, y'all. Stand ready to get at it.
Yes. And let me do the fade out. Do the fade out.
Beautiful.
It's so nice. It is so nice today.
So like,
Hey, here's the thing though. What I realized, so, I live way up north. And don't be wrong, we get snow, but not like it does in the south. And then I come down south today, I'm spinning on every road because do people not plow the roads in Denver?
no, you just let it ride, man.
Because
You gotta
I
go
can't
way
even get
south
out
by
on
the
the
Tilbury.
street.
You gotta get
No,
way
no,
south
no,
by
no.
us too.
Yeah.
Once you get about 6,000 feet, man.
Then you actually,
crushed.
it's not ice anymore. It's actually on,
Yeah,
packed
it's
snow.
it's
Oh man.
Well, here we go. You ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right, guys. So we have somebody here. This is Todd Narlinger. He is the original founder, owner, CEO of Madison Company Properties, where I spend my life, and happy to be a partner. Todd is awesome. We're not going to talk a whole lot of real estate. I think we'll talk business. We'll talk some fun. We'll talk competition, drive. You're a runner, a skier. We'll talk all kinds of stuff. But thank you for being here, man. I just love you.
Thank you for having me, you two.
No, I love it, man. I'm excited.
I'm no Reggie Rivers though. Reggie Rivers, this is good. It was good. It was good. How do I be? Reggie, come on.
Yeah,
come
give me
on.
that.
He's coming next
You
over.
know,
Take my seat, brother.
We've been talking about putting
Come in.
Reggie on maybe once a month, just to like, hey, just keep bringing him back. Yeah,
Bring
he's
that
good.
guy in. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
He's so good. You're going to be equally as good, man.
I'll try.
You're
I'll try.
so,
I'm not competitive at all.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
He's gonna be like, cut. We need to re-record.
Yeah,
that one.
re-record,
Right.
cut.
Yeah, let's go again. I love it.
So it's funny. I mean, we're going through business is shifting all over the place. The market's shifting. Brokerages are shifting. All kinds of stuff. And on a daily basis, Todd is calling. I call. We talk every day.
A couple times.
Yeah. Now it's a couple times.
Yeah.
And this freaking dude, the competitive spirit right now is ridiculous. It's like you are fully consumed with how the hell do we win? How do we get better? How do we give more to our clients, which are our agents and the public? It's just so cool to be a part of and watch. So thank you for being competitive.
Thank you for. Let me ask you a question. Why do you guys think being competitive is important?
Man, it drives everything, right? I mean,
does.
you have to have that competitive nature, specifically in our business, right?
Yeah.
And anybody that grows up in sports and stuff, that was a huge thing for me to get my kids into sports,
Yeah.
so they could learn that early, right? I needed them to know it's okay to be competitive. There's some parents out there today that say, hey, you get a ribbon.
Yes.
You get, man, I
Nothing
hate
frustrates
that
me
crap.
more. Nothing.
You don't get a ribbon for being on the couch
Yeah.
and just walking to the finish line when everybody else is busting their ass to get there.
Yeah, that's it.
So, to me, I think that you got to have that competitive nature. It helps you just mentally. It helps you physically. It just helps you in business and in life. Sounds like my intro.
Right?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Well,
Yeah,
why do you?
it
Tell us
raises
why
the-
do you? What's
yeah.
the answer your own question right there, Todd?
So being competitive to me is about just sharpening your iron every single day, sharpening that iron every single day, being the best you can. Because guess what? If I go 6 feet down tomorrow, I want to know I left everything on that table, everything. And who is that for? It's for my family. It's for my company. It's for my friends. I have, I'll be honest with you, I have a fear of death.
Yeah.
I really do.
Really?
And yeah, I do. It's a big thing. Why do you remember how I vote funerals? Why do I never go?
Oh, you are not good.
I won't go. I
Yeah.
just can't deal with it. It's an interesting thing that very few people know about me.
I didn't know it was a fear of the actual death itself.
That's
Wow.
it. Yeah, it's a big thing for me. And so I always say to myself, I want to leave all the cards on the table every single day, and I don't care how we got to get there, but let's do it. And
that's great, man.
Ultimately, it resonates.
Love
It resonates. So Madison and Company. Let's talk about. I have two families, right?
Yep.
I got my immediate family, then I've got my family. I've got my Madison family, right? And if I know we bring our A game every day, will not resonate down. It would not just be part of the whole concept of what we're talking about, right? So we talk about competitiveness, and the competitiveness is not. I'm not saying that we're better than the other existing firms that are out there, right? I'm just saying that I want to make us the best we can be.
Right.
Give them the best tools and resources they can have to make sure that it ultimately gets down to their clients and the consumer,
love that.
right?
So explain to me this, right? So we're talking that's your mindset now.
Yep.
But it probably took you a while to develop that mindset. So tell us give us a little story about you, a little background, like where you grew up, what you did, how you got into real estate, how you learn the mindset that you have to drive these people and to develop these great companies. Like, how did you do that?
How far do you want me to go back?
As far as you want.
Okay. All right. I'll go back.
I was born in
1973. Great year, 1973. I come from a family that's very driven, very, very driven. Story goes that my grandma immigrated to New York and basically lived in a one-bedroom apartment. My dad, my uncle, and my aunt all lived in a one-bedroom apartment in New York, Bronx, New York.
Nice.
And had nothing, had zero. And to say that they're all three, like my entire family, I am the least successful person in my family. Let's be very, very clear with this. You know what I mean?
Hey, if the Todd family's watching this, invite me over for Thanksgiving.
It's
It's
a very, very driven family. And what I saw is that they came from nothing and really made something. And what does that something look like? That something is about providing for their family. That something is giving their family something they never had. Yeah. And so we talk about why. Where does the competition side come from me? My why is very simple. It's my wife and my two daughters. Yeah. I will run through a brick wall for my family all day long. I mean, seriously, I get so excited about it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And then it's harnessing that energy, right? Because you got to harness that energy because you can be scattered. There's so many little things out there, widgets and this and that can distract you. Social media, I think, is a killer. I think it's absolutely a killer. I think that we get so distracted. We see all these people's lives and how great they are and everything else. When you really reflect back on it, they're just showing you their best moment from that second, right? Yeah. Yeah. But the reality is we all have our battles. We all have stuff that's going on in our daily lives, right? Yep. And so what you got to do is stay focused on what your why is. Yep. And that's what, so competitive is, okay, let's go back. I'm sorry, I can get off track.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Off track
we get lessons and we come back to,
let's
go. Right?
So what we got,
world, friends.
This is
daily. I'm like, all right, bring it back.
But then competitiveness, I grew up playing soccer. I was a big soccer player. And if I didn't make a competitive soccer team, I was a loser. I didn't feel like I was doing something right, Yeah. I remember trying out for, I don't know if you guys know locally here, the Cherry Creek Lightning Thunder team back in Banbury Fields off of Parker back in the day. That's where I grew up playing every single day, man. Okay. And then during the winter time, I'm like, what the hell do I do during the winter time? Right. Ski. Okay. So then I became a competitive racer. I skied all winter long, all the time long, Yeah. So that's where the drive comes from. Then I just took that team. We were talking about teams early on. Yeah. Took the team concept and drove that competitive nature in me. And when I got into, so we'll step back, 1995, I graduated from CU Boulder. Okay. And I didn't know what I was.
Good choice of schools.
Go Buffs, go Buffs. All right. Hey, I'm okay with the Rams. I'm okay. I'm all about Colorado. I'm a Colorado kid through and through, so I'm all good. But I just didn't know what I was going to do out of college. And so my dad was a real estate agent. He was with Perry and Butler Real Estate back in the day. Okay. And what I realized is that my degree was in international logistics. And I thought, okay, I want to get a real job here someday. My dad said, come become my assistant at Perry and Butler, and we'll see where this goes. Yeah. Long story short, after about 3 months of being with my dad and Perry and Butler, I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, you are running your own business. I thought that, it was this Perry and Butler, you work for them, right? Gotcha, yeah. Which I do understand. I mean, ultimately you do, right? I mean, you work for the employee broker, but it's your own business. You can be your own CEO. I just graduated from the CU Business School, and oh my gosh, day one, I got to be my own CEO. Right. Cool, right?
That's super cool, yeah.
So then you got to figure out how you're going to be your CFO, CTO, COO, CMO. You got to figure out your operations, your marketing, your technical side.
It's all on you.
And so what was happening in 1995, guys? What was happening in 1995? Think about it. The internet had just really started, right? Yeah. So people are starting to build their own little websites. And so I was the first one at Remax Masters. We moved to Remax Masters and created my own website. I'm like, Dad, look, we've got a little page that we can promote ourselves. It's kind of cool. www.narlinger.com. It was kind of neat, right? I was like, wow, this is kind of fun.
That's awesome.
And I said, there's a different medium out there. But then what drove me to become the best I can be is I was surrounded myself with incredible agents at Remax Masters. I tell this story all the time. Yeah. I'm going to give them props. Jim Wanzek, Joe Trexler, Duke Fife, Paul Finger, Dan Bloomquist, my dad. These guys are all doing $10 million plus production.
Right.
Back then.
That's crazy.
This is 95, 96. These guys are all doing $10 million plus production.
That's all.
It was incredible. It was incredible. So I come in 1996 and do $5.6 million, 36 sites. I was like, I failed. Year one. I said, Dad, I failed. He goes, by the way, you're rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I was like, for the board. I was like, what? I go, I failed though. And so what I realized real quick is if you surround yourself with excellence, think of like, let's go back to the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
What happened a couple of years ago? What did they win? They won the what?
They won the Super Bowl, baby.
And who was the leader of that team?
Peyton.
Was Peyton that much better than everyone else?
No.
Was he?
No, not at that time.
His arm was flat. You know, I mean, it was
Not good.
but he was a leader.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a leader on and off that field. And
Yep.
so if you surround yourself with excellence, you surround yourself with leaders, it just makes you that much better. So anyway, fast forward to about 2008, I decided to open my own little brokerage. We were doing a lot of condo conversions in town, had a big on-site sales team. And we opened, actually, we're sitting right now in Suite 400 here at in Warsh Park.
Yeah.
We had a little teeny suite downstairs, 650 square feet with 4 of us.
Wow.
And now we're moving along.
We're more than 4.
I could talk all day. I don't want to talk too much. I don't
This
want
is
to talk
all
too much.
about
Why
you.
we had
Keep
you?
talking.
No, I just.
Someone wants to hear the 2 fat kids on the side. Come on.
I was that guy. I was absolutely that guy. We were talking a little bit about it, and I'll tell you, that's where I get my peace. I get my peace from athletics.
Yeah.
From
Well, that's another key thing, right? So when you drive and you have so much drive,
Yeah.
you got to find what is that piece? What is it that's going to help you to wake up tomorrow and still find that drive? 'Cause a lot of people get burnt out with that kind of drive.
Absolutely.
I mean, they go for, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and they're like, dude, I'm done. I can't do this. And, they got people sitting on the couch. So what is, I love that transition. What's your piece? How do you find it?
So my dad, unfortunately, had a heart attack back in the day, and it was pretty bad. It was really bad, and I ended up taking over his business for a little while he was recovering from that, right? And one thing that came from it is that I realized my dad said this, he goes, Todd, you got 2 gears. So what are those 2 gears, Dad? He goes, you are full throttle, full going, or you're just totally just off pace. And he said, so what we did is that we agreed that once a quarter, we took 1 week off.
Okay.
And what they talk about is when you book a vacation, when you know you've got that goal, let's just say it's January today.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going on spring break vacation in March. It's not necessarily the vacation that's the relaxing part. It is the build up to that vacation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I do is I have, it's called 12 on, 1 off.
Okay.
It's 12 weeks go. Just go. Full throttle. Let's go. Let's have fun. But every quarter, no matter what, I will take 1 week off and completely disconnect, Josh. I will totally, that. When I go on vacations, a little bit more now because I think it's easier because you used to be able to go to Mexico back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have any. You were out. You were out. You were gone.
That's right. Yeah.
Every resort now has a Wi-Fi, which is terrible, actually. It's a terrible thing. But I will try to really, really just totally chill, just really focus. Now, obviously, working in those 12 weeks, though, I'm going.
Yeah.
So during the summer times, at least when it's nice out, we can't do today.
Yeah.
I will make sure it's 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. I'm out the door going on a 3 to 5 mile run.
Nice.
It's my piece. It's also the times where I think about my best ideas.
Yeah.
I read a good podcast. I think you were just talking about this. I don't know which one was this. It's NPR, How We Built This.
Yeah.
Someone on there was saying that, hey, my best ideas come when I'm not on my phone, not on the computer.
Yeah.
I'm just out on my daily run.
Yeah.
And I tell you, my best ideas come on that daily run. And skiing, you're not on your cell phone skiing, right?
No.
Have you ever seen skiers skiing with a cell phone?
I'd like to. That'd be.
Now they're putting headphones in so you can hear phone calls. I got to tell
I'm
you
going
guys.
to film it next week when I'm up there and be like, right there.
So that's the best way I can answer that question.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man.
Trying to find.
I think one thing that you've brought to me, because when I came here, I didn't vacation, I didn't take breaks, and I thought I'm more efficient, I'm more consistent, I'm getting a lot more done, I'm productive, I don't really need to recharge. And you were like, I need you to step back, right? Because at some point your work is not your best. And you pushed me and said, this is really not an option, you're taking some time off. And you did, and then that's into my system now is that recharge. You really showed me that, and also through training and working out and doing all that, the rest is the most important point.
Absolutely
It's
right.
the best thing that you can do is the rest. And I always looked at it from a guilty standpoint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Catholic, you've got Jewish background, like
Yeah.
guilt drives so much of what we do.
Absolutely
I
right.
let that guilt go, and you gave me that direction and as a boss, the permission and the focus to go take that time off. It's so huge. I can always tell when you're flying back. I can always tell when you're in the airport. I have no idea what your travel schedule is, but I always know, like, oh, Todd's in the airport now, because the emails just start busting out the text. I'm like, here we go, he's on vacation. But you always come with the freshest, coolest ideas after those times that you're off. It's so cool.
Justin, that's such a good point, is because I think you will get stuck in that daily grind.
Yeah.
Just doing. You're just doing. You're just maintaining. Just keeping up with you and I were talking about your last year's production and everything else. What we do, right?
Yep.
Unless if you step back from it for a minute, you'll never be able to retrospect what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, Kristen, when we used to go on vacations, to your point, the first 3 days, okay, let's sit by the pool, have a few cocktails.
Right. Yeah.
By day 4, I've got this notebook out, guys. You know, I carry this everywhere I go. This is notes. It's this. It's drawings. It's business planning, right? And it's coming up with new, fresh ideas. I mean, real estate's been around how long?
Ever.
Can we agree it's changed?
Yeah. Oh, it's
100%.
And why has it changed?
Consumers have driven it. They expect different. There's more technology. There's more opportunity. People are learning more. They're becoming more efficient.
And entrepreneurs are stepping up the game with different ideas
Yeah.
on how to make it more efficient, how to make it better for the consumer, right?
Yep.
And so if we as business leaders, we're all business leaders in our own business, correct?
Yeah.
Don't step away and say, how do I make it better for my team at Universal? How do I make it better for our team at Madison?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that's key for any business, right? Businesses in general change every single day, every
Absolutely.
single year.
Absolutely.
And if you lose track of that change and you get stuck in a rut, your business will fizzle. I mean, look at Kmart, right? Kmart's not around anymore. Look at Sears is finding its way out, right? I mean, they're barely hanging on. You look at those guys and how they're not moving with where business is going, just in that type of environment. And then you think about real estate with, I mean, you got people retiring, you got new people coming on, different ways to do business. I mean, if you're not staying up with that, you're fizzling out.
I totally agree. Totally.
One thing I want to rewind to is, all right, so you're at Remax, you're doing this, you and your dad are doing some good business. You've kind of taken the reins on the business.
Yeah.
You're right. You're doing development, fix and flips, condo conversions, all this. And in 2008, what the hell were we doing in 2008? We're all hanging on for dear life. And this dude mashes on the gas and says, well, I'm going to open a real estate company. You interviewed with all kinds of people. You looked around.
Yeah.
Give us the story about 2008. I was scared to death. Yeah. Clearly you weren't. What happened? How did this happen?
So the idea came in 2007. That's the idea came in 2007. Pre-IndyMac, pre-Lehman Brothers, the crash, right?
Yeah.
And when I had the idea, it was, to your point, I had a company called Urban Development. Urban Development in town did a lot of condo conversions. It was all the Icon series, Icon 741 Pearl, 195 South Penn, 120 South Penn, and I had an on-site sales team. Okay. And so here I am over on Arapahoe and I-25, commuting to where? Wash Park, back, forth. It made no sense. Plus I had a team, which I was paying for, the licenses at the office, and it just became a cost benefit thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I came down to Denver, and I said, okay. Yeah, I came down to Denver. I was just in Great Village. It wasn't like I
made the commute.
Got
the horse and buggy, and we made it down there.
Yeah, it was definitely a different market.
It was a different market. And so what I did is I came down and looked at all these other firms what they had. And I was like, okay, I came home and I did a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And I said, I turned to my dad, and my dad's still at Remax. I said, Dad, I'm going to open my own brokerage. I said, I think I can do it better. I think we can do it better.
Yeah.
And furthermore, I need to be down in Denver now. I need to have a location down in Denver.
What was his reaction at that point?
I think he was getting closer and closer to retirement himself, and he was very supportive, but he wanted to stay back at Remax.
Fair enough.
He wanted to stay there, and he wanted me to go do my thing with Michael. And he said, you go. Yeah, and it was really, Madison was really going to be a platform for our on-site sales team.
Right.
It's really what it was.
Yeah.
We brought an assistant, we had our leasing manager, Jen, and then we had Michael and I, the four of us, and we just had a teeny little office that we're running urban development out of. So we signed a lease downstairs for Suite 300 because we thought we could get a little bit bigger. We went from about 650 square feet to 3,000. But I want to answer your question. In 2008, we didn't know what was about to happen. We didn't know, but we were all in.
Yeah.
We were already all in, right? We were like, okay, we're moving forward. And so long story short, we opened up Madison, and we just went for it. Don't look back. It was the toughest 3 years of my life. I will tell you right now, 2008 to 2011 was brutal.
And I know for you, on a production standpoint, you had 3 of your better years that you had because you were ahead of the market. You were going where the puck was going to be. You weren't where it was already.
That's right.
But you anticipated well and knew where your market was going to be. So production-wise was okay, but you were funding this thing. You were keeping it going. You were just, the commissions were not going home. They were
right? we talk about splits today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 70-30 splits, whatever 80-20, I don't know, whatever people do, whatever we talk about hundreds.
Right.
I was the reverse.
Right.
I was on a 1090 plan. I was on the 1090 plan. 10% came home.
Right.
90% went back to the company.
Yeah.
And we talk about competition. I was too stubborn. I was too stubborn to close shop. I was too stubborn, and I had some employees, and they were my family, and I couldn't let that family down. Even though that we have like 15 employees, 150 agents, I today cannot let them down. I cannot. I'm so driven to make sure that they can financially go where they want to go in their life, right?
I love that.
That's even today. And so that drive I had in 2009, 2010, 2011, Justin, it was much more than today.
Yeah.
It was like, I have to. It was the 1 o'clock morning. I had the keys in my hand to hand back to the landlord. 20 times I was about to say I'm done, but I couldn't do it.
So tell me about the support that you got.
Oh gosh.
You got your dad.
Yeah. My dad did come over eventually, by the way.
Yes, he did. Got your dad, you've got your family, your extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, you've got all this who may or may not be paying attention to what you're doing. You have your circle of friends in real estate, right? And they're probably cheering you on, but they're hanging on for dear life.
Absolutely.
So probably was super lonely. But I go back to your why.
Yeah.
Your wife.
That's it.
And the kids weren't there yet. Well, no, they were there.
No, they were there.
Yeah,
They were little.
Young.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, you go home and
I will tell you, without getting a little crazy emotional.
Trying to make you cry.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Straight up pulling Jerry
Not
Maguire
gonna
right
happen.
here. It's okay to
Not
cry.
gonna happen. But absolutely, if you do not have the support from your spouse or your friends or whatever that might look like, but number one was Kristen. Yeah. Number one, no matter what, she goes, hey, if we need to peel back this, we need to move, whatever we got to do, I'm 100% supportive of whatever we got to do as a family. It was amazing.
She was all in like you were.
All in. We cut budgets. We cut everything. We were running on such thin fumes. You know what I mean? We really were. But I will tell you, it made us stronger. Yeah. It made us better. She is my best friend, hands down. Yeah. You know that.
Oh, you guys
know
are
what I mean?
ridiculous together. It's so friggin' cute and fun, and it's just like you just met. That's how you guys are together. It's it. You just started dating.
And a shout out to her right now. She is in Switzerland right now. She's in Switzerland visiting her sister from another mister, her stepsister, Jenny, which is amazing. And it just makes me so honored and proud and so happy that she could be out there with her having an amazing week.
I look at your guys' relationship. I admire you because you're independent of each other. Yeah, you always come together, right? You're always doing something with your boys. You're always going out playing this and that. You're doing work stuff. She's got her stuff. She's got the kids. She's doing her work stuff. But you guys, you don't have to have each other in each other's moment every day. That's like a lot of people. I think it's so healthy to watch because you always come back together and you're just pulling on the same rope.
I think of a word that I want to hit on: trust. Yeah. I'll hit on that word because I think a lot of people in real estate, we look at these broker owners, we look at lenders, we look at whatever we want to look at, right? Yeah. Trust that we have faith in each other, that we are doing every day the best we can for each other. Yeah. And the trust I have in her and the trust she has in me is just, you can't break that down. You know what I mean? It's unreal. Yeah. So she trusts that when I go with the guys, it's all good. We're just having fun when she goes away. But more importantly, we got a support system at home that we take make sure that everything's taken care of here, right? Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
No, God, don't apologize.
I get all about trust.
So now we're in 2008. Shit's about to hit the fan. You created this idea. Yeah. One question I get the most is, where did the name come from? How did that happen?
Good question. Very good question. So Madison was started with me and Michael Tura. Yeah. Michael Tura now runs our Rhino office, but Michael Tura and I were 50-50 partners on urban development. Okay. Yeah. So urban development was what Madison was built off. And so have you ever tried to name a company?
Oh, yeah.
How much fun is that?
It's not fun.
I'm going to give a shout to Mike Stacy because Mike Stacy was my running partner at the time. Right on. Okay. Because him and I were training for a marathon at the time, actually. And we'd always trying to name a company is almost impossible. Narlinger is my last name, right?
You should see me and Justin trying to come up with a name for this freaking podcast.
Right?
We're still not there.
I know. What is it? What is it?
We don't know. Right now it's Smack Talk. Right now we're doing Smack Talk, how to win the day, but that could change next week.
But so when we were going through all these names, Narlinger, Tura, Narlinger Associates, whatever you want to call it, urban associates, urban real estate, we had all these different names. And finally, the gentleman we were working with, we were talking about the marketing. He goes, how did you two meet? how did you guys, so we went to college together, and Michael moved back to Oregon, and then he bought a house for me. He moved back to Denver. He bought this house for me at 579 Madison Street. And we both look at each other and said, Madison, 579 Madison Street.
Yeah.
That's where this, if y'all go drive by 579 Madison, it was not the house it is today, by the way.
Yeah.
It was just a cute little bungalow back then. Now it's a nice big house. Yeah. But anyway, long story short, we started to play with Madison. And it just resonated for both of us. It had meaning, it had feeling, it really resonated with us. And so we just started playing. And I said, I want this to be about the company. I want it to be about the company. So Madison and Company. Well, Madison and Company could be anything.
Yeah.
Right? So what do we sell? We sell properties.
Properties.
We sell properties.
Yep.
So Madison and Company Properties. That's how it came.
That's put some thought in there. I mean, what
now,
was
don't
that
get me, it was
process?
3
You guys
months. It was
stuff?
3 months. It
3
was
months
3
to come
months.
up with that.
3 months to come up with the name. 3 months, round after round after round. And what's funny is, Kristen, you'll know this. I hope you watch this, honey. She hated the name. She hated the name. We were in Beaver Creek with the Stacys, and I'm like, this is the name we're going with. And I remember it like yesterday. We're sitting there having breakfast, and Mike and Lori are both like, that's great. Kristen's like, I don't like it.
Oh my gosh.
So a few years ago, she's like, I'm glad you didn't listen to me. What a great name. You know what I mean? Just a few years ago.
That's the one time she could say that.
Yeah. Now she works for the company. She works with the company. Yeah. But for the first few years, zero interest. Now we have little kids too.
Yeah.
So I get it. But now she's all in. So it's all good.
So tell me about this. So you went through the whole buildup. You did everything that you did. What was it? I know you have your support group. What is like some of the things that you were reading back then? What was some of the things that you put into your life that you were listening to, reading? What is it that helps you stay focused on those things besides your why with the family?
You ever read a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul?
No, I've seen it.
Here, it's old school. It's back in the day before all these self-help books came out. You know what I mean? This is 90s before all these self-help books came out. I read it one time on vacation. It was like, wow, this is soothing. It was chill. It was good, right? Then someone hooked me up onto another book called The Go-Giver. My dad had a saying, success by caring and sharing. This is pre-Go-Giver, right? Right. This is what my dad always harped on me. By the way, I got to tell you, this is weird because we do talks together, and usually I'm on the outside.
You're on the outside.
So I'm trying to look back and forth. So out of respect to both of you guys, I just want you to know I'm trying. But really, the go-giver mindset is you give unto others as you want done unto yourself. And I think we have lost that in our culture today. I go onto social media, which I try to stay out as much as I possibly can, but there's trolls out there. There's trolls. So I'm like, are you kidding me? We have this thing next door, whatever in our neighborhood, right? You heard of next door?
Oh, yeah.
We're a community. This is the Castle Pines North community. And I will see, no matter what, someone will comment on something, and about 4 down, someone will say something negative. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. What's going on here? But anyway, go back to your story. It's just The Go-Giver is one of my favorite books. Yeah. It is such a good book. It's such a good, and now I'm hooked on to podcasts because I'm not.
I know you're here today. I mean, it's the biggest one there is. So
this is it. This is going on NPR, how we started, how we built this, right? Yes. But yeah, I got hooked on this NPR, how we built this, because it's nice to hear from other business leaders in the community. That community, we're talking some of the best, right? You just started listening.
It's amazing. I'm so addicted to this thing. How I built this is when I listened to the gal that started Spank. She's a billionaire now, youngest billionaire in the nation. Instagram guys, the guys started Five Guys.
Five Guys,
These stories are, and you start finding.
Oh, I really like those guys too. What more?
Let me throw stones in the glass house over here. I'm dipping my fries in the
And let me tell you why it's important. Why I think it's important, because being a business leader, a business owner, whatever, even in your own individual business, it's a lonely world.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a very lonely world. You don't know if what you're doing is right? Yeah. And so listening to these podcasts have made me realize that there's struggles, there's pain points, and it's what you do to get past when you're knocked down. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hear it all the time, like, I just lost this $1 million listing. I'm like, okay, let's wallow in that for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get another one.
Let's go get another one. Let's go. You do we and I talk about this all the time. What do I say? 1 step back, 2 forward. 2 forward. Yeah. I'm always like, you're going to get knocked down, and it's how you react and get yourself back up. Yeah. And that's what I loved about that NPR podcast, just Instagram. Gosh,
that thing was
Airbnb. Listen to the one on Airbnb. These guys put a cot or a bed in it for a conference out in San Francisco. Now look at where it is today.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was an air bed. It was an air bed. That was an air mattress in someone's room. That's where Airbnb came from.
I love it.
So it's really interesting stuff. So
you said something earlier. You said you do a SWOT analysis when you were looking at like getting things going and stuff. Explain that, because I love that. So because I love it, other people have to love it. Just so you know that.
Yeah. I like this.
So I want you to talk a little bit more how you do that and your approach to those things.
So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, right? So let's just take your company. Let's just take you. Okay, since we're gonna go for it. Name a couple strengths about you, Josh, in your business.
Me. I like to eat. I'm just kidding.
But you see where I'm going. Your strength is your personality. You're outgoing. You know, I already know it. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, that kind of stuff. It's who you are. It's you know, you're strong-willed. You work hard, right? I'm sorry, I'm doing your strengths for you.
I love it.
No.
Keep going. Man, my head doesn't even fit on the computer anymore.
I'm about to hit on the weaknesses, so buckle up.
So strengths is something that you want to make sure you always maintain, grow, and improve. You know what I mean?
Right.
You really want to maintain them. You want to improve them. You want to grow them.
Yep.
You want to look at your strengths and say, okay, I maintained them. How can I improve them a little bit, and how can I grow on that?
Yeah.
Your weaknesses. What's his weaknesses? I'm letting you have an opportunity.
Come on, come with it.
In that shirt today.
No,
I mean,
weaknesses.
I think for Josh, one thing that and we all do as business owners is the target is moving constantly, and we lose focus on the one thing that we're trying to focus on for that day.
Yeah,
right? You get so excited because that's the person you are.
Right.
That it pulls you away, right?
Yeah.
And you're the same. I'm the same. Where we're so excited, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "But I'm over here, and I need you," and we go, and we are immediately over there serving, helping,
absolutely,
mentoring, whatever we got to do,
absolutely.
And our attention just goes. And I think that's one thing all three of us struggle with. But it's something I see is that lack of staying on point to be that one great part.
One thing we talk about with Justin on here is, and you know, it's Coral's fault really, but his assistant, but he stays on track pretty dang good, right? His scheduling is on point.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of my weaknesses, is that Justin's absolutely 100% correct. If somebody needs me, I feel like I need to be there for that particular person, where I could say, hey, I can be there for you, but it's going to have to be later because I need to accomplish these things. Right.
The power to say no.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I struggle with that because I'm a giver. I love to give. I love to help. I love to assist, but I need to know when is the right time to do those things. So yeah, I mean, I would like to welcome everybody to Josh's coaching session today. Talk about my SWOT analysis, but no, these are the things that I love, and that's why I want you to go over this, is because this is important for everybody in all aspects of life, whether it's business life, whatever. We should be knowing what these things are to get better.
And weaknesses from a company perspective, like what could we be doing better? Could we give more lead gen to our agents? Yes, I want to that's a weakness. I would like to get more lead gen, right?
Right.
Could we have more efficiencies with CRM tools? Yes.
Right.
Is there a way? Justin and I have a whiteboard that we're always juggling, putting different ideas. How could we be better? How can we market better to the consumer? It's a weakness. I will go in the community, especially 2008, 2009. No one had ever heard of Madison.
Yeah.
No one had ever heard of Madison. I mean, we did actually a consumer think tank group, and we asked them about Remax, we asked them about other firms. They had heard a lot of them. Some of the bigger boutique firms here in Denver, they've never heard of.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, that's a weakness, right?
Yeah.
That weakness creates what? An opportunity.
Yes.
So look at your weaknesses, and I think they kind of transverse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That will create an opportunity that you now analyze. How can I go ahead and get more lead gen? How can I get CRM tools? If I know it's a weakness, how do I turn it into an opportunity?
Yeah.
Threats. Threats in real estate. Real estate has changed more in the last 2 to 3 years than I think it's changed in the last 100 years. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
We go to the Inman conference, and it's all about disruption, disruptors.
Yeah.
We talked about the disruptors, and it didn't really have an impact, would you say? Yeah. But in the last 2 to 3 years, major impact.
It shifted everything.
Major impact. There's a firm coming in here from New York that's just thinks they can just kind of gobble up agents and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a threat. It's a threat. It's a threat.
Yep.
But I will tell you, I will stay strong to who I am and what we're about, and we will give the best service and best things that we can to our agents. Right? So that's what it is. And so you got to be looking at your threats. You got to be say, hey, how is the lending world going to change 5 years from now?
Right.
You ever read this book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh yeah. That's a great book.
It's another great book.
Yeah.
So many of us will reflect, and I meet with agents all the time. Well, this is how it used to be. I'm like, wait, let's reverse that question. How's it going to be a year from now?
Absolutely.
What's it going to look like? And if you're not planning for what it's going to look like a year from now, then you're silly.
Yeah.
Don't stop reflecting. You can reflect for a few minutes, right? Because you got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You got to
learn from it.
But the threat is what is it going to look like a year from now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Does that make sense in my SWOT
100%.
analysis? And I want to hit on one other thing because you just hit on something that you and I think are very similar. There's a book that Larry Kindle turned me on to years ago. What is it? The E-Myth.
Oh, the E-Myth.
The E-Myth. You and I are we're entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs,
right? Yeah. What most business owners do is that they think they can be the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician all in one.
Right.
So there's another book I challenge everyone to read is the E-Myth.
This is fantastic.
Because figure out which one you are as the entrepreneur, the manager, or the technician. Justin, which one am I?
You are the foot on the gas. I always explain my job as Todd is mashing on the gas 100% of the time. I have to sometimes just reach over and say, hey, hairpin turn.
Let's go.
Let's take it off squirrels. We'll make the turn and then just go for it. You are constantly the entrepreneur going for it. No fear, mind wide open. Let's see what happens.
And what am I not great at?
The details.
I know what I want. I know the 30,000 foot view. Now but having an incredible manager is what this is all about.
Right.
And then our incredible staff here at Madison are the technicians.
100%.
They're the executors.
So
They're the executors, right?
Yep.
So I think that we get very, very, and I think when you're doing a SWOT analysis on yourself and your company, make sure you know who the entrepreneur is, make sure you know who the managers are, and make sure you know who the technicians are. That's my game plan, right?
I think one thing that's been awesome to watch is over the last few years, about 5 years, we've worked together. When I first came on, it was, yes, the email was there, but you were trying to do everything.
100%.
You were trying to
Absolutely
be in this. And so we talked over that time, and there's something I talked about all the time. That's staying in your lane.
That's it.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And I think what's been so amazing to watch is to see you stay in that entrepreneur lane, and things like Arrive Home happen.
Yeah.
Right? Things like the expansion of Madison, which we'll talk about, the Arrive Home stuff. But it's so cool to stay in your lane. What has that meant to you? Has that shifted? Was that hard? Was that...
Real quick, before you answer that. So he said something that goes along with that earlier, right? Is that staying in the lane, you have to trust these people.
Yes,
You love trust, right?
I was just going to say,
So you
trust.
gotta do that.
I was just going to say,
huge.
That's it.
Yeah.
You have to trust. And the second thing is budgetary constraints. 2009,
What?
2010,
Come on.
2011.
Damn it. All right,
Think
go
about
ahead.
it. I had to, Justin, be the person in every lane.
Had to.
Because we didn't have the budget to be able to hire new people to help get me off that lane. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Until you get enough financial. And so I'll tell our agents that, hey, I want to grow because we have incredible people that are on the lane. I'd love to have the budget that we had in 2009.
Yeah.
But in order to grow and become stronger and be more successful as a company that ultimately gives down to our agents, which ultimately gets down to the consumers, I had to grow with people that can stay in their lane better than I could.
Right.
And it's understanding and realizing that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so I know what my lane is, and I ask our realtors, and I ask anyone, stay in your lane. Don't get distracted.
Right.
You watch the nightly news or the morning news, it will distract you from what's going on in this world. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now, right? Don't let it distract you. Try as hard as you possibly can. Know what your goal is and know how you're going to get there and go execute.
Yeah. Love that, man.
So,
That's incredible. Yeah.
It's that. But it's tough because it comes down to passion, skill set, mindset, action. It's all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Hey, I want to give a shout out real quick. Mike Huber logs on every freaking week.
Nice.
Where do we see this? It's
He
right over
is
there?
awesome.
Yeah.
He puts notes in. Mike, we love it, man. Keep doing it. Beth Rieger, we appreciate you as well. You know, Mike said, the Challenger Cell is another good one that you should read. Hey, I just want you guys to know we love the fact that you are in here and you're vocal with the stuff you're doing. So thank you. All right, let's continue.
Okay, I want to hear about Challenger Sale, Mike. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to go read about it.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. So, Todd, we're obviously in the real estate game.
Yeah.
Running this company. You're leading the pack. One of the top boutique brokerages in the region, which is pretty exciting. You're getting some national attention. Things are happening all the way around. And then all of a sudden, it was a couple years ago, and you kind of pulled me aside and said, hey, I've got this idea.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And it came to me, I was going to a fantasy football thing. I'd love for you to tell that story of what the idea was, what it turned out to be, and your kind of mindset throughout it, and anything you could share with us about it. It's fascinating.
So one of the big things that was disrupting this market was these other, let's call it these other applications out there called Zillow. Zillow. Zillow's a big one. And we tried it. Remember, we tried it here at Madison to do a Zillow account. And what was happening is a consumer would reach out to one of our agents on Zillow, and if they didn't respond back within, let's call it 2 to 3 minutes,
Right.
next, let's go to the next one.
someone
So
else is, yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are making a boatload of money from these agents advertising on Zillow, and what they're missing out on is the on-demand aspect.
Yeah.
We talked about Kmart, Walmart earlier.
Yeah.
Who changed? What changed all that? Why are these companies going under?
I mean, they just weren't staying up. And there's an actual study done on Kmart and Sarasota. They're just not staying up with the movement in the business.
That's it. And
Yeah.
who's the big mover, guys? Jeff
Bezos.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
the Amazon effect.
Yep.
And what has he done so well? The on-demand,
Yep.
making it easy to shop.
So good.
It's
Yeah.
the on-demand effect. So I was like, okay, how do we bring on-demand? How do we solve a problem? The problem that needed to be solved was the on-demand showings, right? I talked to you.
Yep.
On-demand in the sense that if I'm at 123 Main Street, I call this guy that's advertising on Zillow. He could be in Aruba for all we know,
Right.
because he's just advertising on there as one of the Zillow Premier agents. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yep.
And so anyway, I don't want to get too much into it,
Yeah.
but what I did is I was like, okay, what if we could Uberize real estate a little bit?
Yeah.
Now I know that sounds terrible. People you said, oh my gosh, we're not just Uber drivers. I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to make it better for the consumer,
Better experience.
a better experience.
Yep.
That they don't have to necessarily call off the sign, right? They don't have to wait for that Sunday open house. What if you knew you're at 123 Main Street and there was a realtor at 245 Main Street working that day,
Right.
that you see that he's only 100 yards away from you?
Yep.
You can click him real quick, right? You can just ping him, and he says, hey, I just want to go see this home.
Right.
Doesn't agent lose out on that buyer because he
Yep.
might be out of town or he might not be near the
better for the
property. So
seller.
it's better for the seller
Yep.
because they are getting instant access into the property, right?
Yep.
And it's better for everyone all around, right? Now, there was some feedback, and I don't know if we're ready for something like that yet. And the Arrive Home today is really not doing anything. It's kind of on the shelf.
Yeah, and that's
But
okay.
but it's okay. I wanted to challenge myself. I will tell you, I will not get back into technology. Technology,
Stay in your lane.
stay in my lane. I got distracted, and I'm all in on Madison. But what it did teach me real quick is that there are a lot of players in this game that don't want change.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that don't that really change is tough.
Right.
I wanted to bring it up because some people will look at it as a failure, right? This thing, it didn't take off. It didn't connect like maybe we hoped or thought it would, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up because we go back to this podcast, how I built it and how I built this, and it's that story is all the way through all the time. But what I appreciate so much is that you said, all right, cool. I still did it. I still tried it. I still made an impact on the market.
Great point.
I didn't let my fear hold me back from anything. You pushed a lot of chips into the table,
A lot.
time-wise, money, like the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
But when you were maybe done with it, you weren't a defeated person. You weren't down on your luck. You didn't go into depression. You didn't let it destroy you. It was more fuel. Like I've never seen you so energized after you came back from, hey, I did this. Here's what we made, and that's what happened.
Absolutely right. I think you just hit on something. What holds us back, most of us?
Ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And what is that? What's that?
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
both of you nailed it.
Yeah.
It's fear. It's fear. And the question for me or for anyone is what is that fear? Why? But if you know your why,
Yeah.
then fear will not hold you back. And I said, I knew what my why was. I wanted to go see if I could do something cool, different, and creative,
Yeah.
and see if I could hit it out of the ballpark with it.
Yeah.
But fear would not hold me back. Now, when I lost and it didn't work, and it's just sitting on a shelf right now, that's okay.
That thing might come back.
It might come back someday. It may come back, but I'm okay with it. I mean, so that was more like 5 steps back. And I said, okay.
I mean,
5
you
steps.
take 10 steps forward.
That's
man.
it. Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I said. Let's go. Let's game on. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I also was able to learn the tech space in real estate better than ever before. I understand it better now. I get it now better than ever before. I can talk about APIs.
Yep.
I can talk about what's going on in the national market. I was able to talk to some amazing people. York Bauer from MoxieWorks.
Yeah.
To CRMLS. It gave me a better knowledge of what the landscape is like in landscape. And I'll tell you, being an RE Colorado director now has really helped me give insight
Right.
to what is going on in this marketplace. And if we don't watch out what's going on, if we don't see what's happening here, we're naive.
I will say that experience has made an impact on the industry locally here in our market and across the nation because it brought awareness to an issue. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the on-demand space of real estate. So I applaud you for that. But one thing it did absolutely do is make us a better company.
I think it made us a better company. I think because it really challenged me to realize what's going on out there in the space.
For
and having that knowledge has helped me tremendously of where I think we need to go. You know?
Segue.
All right.
Where are we going? What do you see for the future of business? I don't want to just make this about real estate, but the future of business. Like, what does it look like to you?
I'll ask. I want my take, but I want to really hear your guys' take too. I really got to hear from both of you guys as well. I think at the end of the day, what I learned from it all, Justin, is that people still want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And I also think the second thing is that people want full service. People really want someone when they go. How often do people sell their homes on average?
Every 5 to 7 years.
Every 5 to 7 years.
Yep.
We are all so focused on it daily.
Yep.
They're focused on it once every 5 to 7 years.
Right.
Yep.
And what is you from the lending side? Is it usually not typically their biggest asset? One of their bigger assets, their home.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the biggest purchases. So what I realized from Justin more than anything else is what we're going forward is that there will be a place for full service real estate brokerage, no matter what.
Yeah.
If I've had people question me, say, well, I don't think so. This can go online. Really? When you get that 25-page inspection report, it's you're just gonna be able to just push a couple buttons and say, I'm good.
Right.
You need an intermediary to take the emotion. Real estate is very, very, very emotional.
100% agree.
I swear I am sometimes 1% realtor, 99% psychiatrist,
Yes.
right? Therapist. I really
Yeah.
do. Because there's a lot of emotion that goes into it and the confusion around appraisals, around loan objections, around underwriting, around, debt to income ratios, right? They're only doing this once every 7 years.
Right.
All that paperwork that they got to get you, they're like, what? Oh my gosh, I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Todd, I gave them this much paperwork. How is it going to continue?
Right, exactly.
I'm like, it's a financial enema. Let's just be very clear. And I pre-warned them. And I think that us guiding them through this difficult process and emotional process will never be lost. That's what I learned from it all.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there's always that adage, right? 10% of people are going to buy the cheapest one because it's the cheapest one. 10% are going to buy the most expensive because it's the most expensive one. That leaves that, that 80, I do the math, 80% right in the middle that are just going to
10, 20, 80, 100, we got it.
We got it.
Woo, bring the mortgage guy in. What's up?
Yeah, those things are calculated. But we've got to find our space in what we are and stick to it. And I don't just mean we as Madison or we as Universal Lending or Josh or whatever. It's we as an industry have to be clear about who we are and what our purpose is for them. And there's some agents that don't want to work with people they know, like, and trust, or know, like, and trust, and they don't want that. They want to work with somebody they don't know. That's fine. But I think you've got to be, the future of business to me is to be more clear. We say this all the time. Clarity is power.
Clarity is power.
All the
Everything.
time.
Yeah.
And I think until you're very clear with yourself and your support system, and then your client base, and then the public, you're going to be floundering this whole time. So I think going forward, I don't care if you're tech, I don't care if your relationship, I don't care if any of it, you better be clear. And you better have a story that people can latch onto and understand. That's my future. That's what I think. All this technology, it's all going to be there.
Yeah.
But consumers are still going to go where they're comfortable. They're going to choose based upon their comfort. We got to do a better job of explaining where we're comfortable.
100% agree.
That's it.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Future lending? I
so
want to hear.
if you look, well, I look at the future based on the past, right? So I look at last year and I look at my years before that. I had a down year last year. The great thing is, as I tried new things, right? I wasn't scared. Like you jump out, you throw both hat on the fence, jump both feet in, and you go. And you just hope that you learn from those failures, right? And if you're not willing to learn from the failures, then you probably should go do something else. I don't know, 9-to-5 job, something, right? But when I look at in the past, and when you guys are talking about the technology piece and those things, where I had an off year is I started doing everything online. There was not much of a personal touch. It is amazing to me when I look back and people go, oh, the millennials want to do the tech stuff. You know who I met with more last year? The millennials. 100%. They were in my office. They wanted to learn it. They wanted to write stuff down. They do their research prior to, but they
more than any group.
More than any group, but they still want to meet with you. They still want to have that personal relationship. And so the future, I think, of any business is going back to, yes, they're going to have knowledge of when they meet with you more than they've ever had, but they still are going to meet with you. I think I see us going back to the personal relationships, meeting one-on-one, doing those. When was the last time anybody in your company did a listing appointment literally over the phone or on the internet? You're not going to win it.
Yeah, I hope not.
It may happen, but they're probably not going to win that.
They're not going to.
Right? And so the same thing goes with when you're talking about referral sources, if you're in the oil business, if you're in lender, whatever it is, right? You got to have that personal touch along with the technology piece of it. And I see the business going back to that in the future, which is going to make it such a better business. It kind of got away from itself a little bit. And I see it going back to that, which excites the heck out of me. Like, I love that piece of it. This is what I enjoy. Like, I love that everybody's plugged into us right now, but this is what's fun about it.
I will tell you a good story. Can I hit on one thing real quick?
100%.
I want to hit something because I have a friend that we were out of town in December, and I think it was work for Oracle or something, right? And he's got to travel all the time for work.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you guys not heard of Zoom conference call or something like that? Y'all put your pictures up on the screen and y'all do a call. And you save all this time and money from traveling. And there's something about, they said, there's something about being in a conference room with fellow members to see them face to face and have conversation, even if it's only a 2-hour meeting. Oh, someone that said they flew to Japan or whatever for a 2-hour meeting, face to face.
Yeah.
Got back on a plane the next morning and flew back home for a 2-hour meeting.
Yeah.
Why?
It's such a better. I mean, think about the emotion you get when you're with those other people.
Absolutely.
The camaraderie, everything that you build with that.
You can't get that over.
Can't get that over.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
So just having this, and I think that's what it's in real estate, it's in lending, it's in anything we do. Oil and gas, you're exactly right. You got to be face to face.
Yeah.
So people talk about it. You and I talk about this all the time. I'll go back to my dad, right? So many of these people come into these listing appointments with all this fancy books and all this thing and everything else and all this stuff and all these amazing tools and kits and iPads and this stuff. My dad had a yellow pad of paper.
Yeah.
Had a few actives, a few under contracts, a few solds, printed out a few little pieces of paper. His yellow pad of paper was to listen.
Yes.
To listen to what their needs were. Listen to what they stop talking about ourselves.
Did you say listen?
Listen. I listened. I heard him say that.
I didn't even know that word existed. So go ahead. Keep talking, please.
Keep talking. That's it. Just let's listen to what our clients are trying to tell us.
Right.
What are their goals? What are their objectives? What are they trying to accomplish?
Oh, good.
And if you know that, it's amazing what can happen.
Right.
And I think what we do is we just tell our story so much and tell us about it, which I think you need to do. You got to do that. You got to tell what your value proposition, but really just listen to what they're trying to accomplish and then go execute. Love it.
I hope everybody listened to that right there. Listen to what they're trying to accomplish and then go execute.
That's it.
Right? Because when you learn what they need, hopefully in your business, all your resources you have to accomplish everything that they need to get to their goal. That's what you're trying to do.
That's it.
If you don't shut your mouth and listen, you'll never learn what those are.
And I've gone on listening appointments with some rookies back in the day when I had a lot more time. I used to go, and I just say, stop talking. Yeah, stop. And so what I did is I created this little Madison questionnaire that got State Van Imstead on track.
Right.
I said, whatever you do, get to this questionnaire. This questionnaire asks them key questions.
Yeah.
And so no matter what, they had to stop and just listen. You know what I mean? Anyway.
I love it. Well, hey, let's talk about, you said at one point you were 200 and some pounds.
Oh, golly, yeah.
I want everybody that's watching on Facebook Live to know that Todd was me 5 years ago.
Whatever.
And this is Todd now. I got a future. This is awesome, man. So give us a fat kid moment.
We can go run anytime you. Oh, here we go.
Fat kid moment of the week.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about your healthy run. Okay, we'll get to that. Right? But give me a fat kid moment.
I will give it to you right now. Okay, this is I think it was 2005 or 2006. I learned that we had a very serious heart disease in our family. Runs in our family, right? It was after a physical. I talked to my family. I talked to my uncle. I found out that we had a history of that in our family, right? And so I was out of shape. I was working 24/7, full throttle. And when I vacationed, it was not eating healthy. It was drinking. It was having fun, right? And I was just it was not good. And I was losing that competitive edge with sports, right? And so I said to my wife one day out of the blue, I'm going to go run a marathon next year. She laughed. She's like, whatever. Right. Good on you, mate. So this is my fat kid moment. I'm going to give it to you right now. I had my white cotton t-shirt on. I put my shorts on. I'm like, I'm going for that 3 to 5 mile run right now, honey. This is when I was in my worst shape I've ever been. Right. Dude, I barely ran to the stop sign. I barely ran down the street to the stop sign, and I was dying. I had to walk home. I had to walk home. And that was the wake up moment for me that I could barely breathe. I ran about a half mile. And I said, I can't do this. The next year I did end up running the Georgetown half marathon. And the next year after that, it wasn't the following year. Then the next year after that, I ran the New York City Marathon in 2008. Wow. Went from about 200, somewhere in that range. And I weighed myself that day at the end of the New York City Marathon. I was 158. Unhealthy, very unhealthy. I was a little obsessed. We talked about my obsession with Madison. Yeah. That was obsessed. I was obsessed with getting to that goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I found a nice balance.
Great.
But anyway.
Yeah. All right. So Kristen's in Switzerland right now. Have you had any fat moments this week?
Oh my gosh.
Gone?
Honey, I went to Wingstop last night. Let's be very serious. She made me. I had some meals prepared. They were all good. And this Blue Apron, shout to Blue Apron, was supposed to be delivered, but they sent an email saying the storm, we can't get to your house. Blah blah blah.
Oh my god!
So I came home last night. Kids, we're going to Wings. We're going to Wings. Pounded a ton of those. And,
I love it.
You know? So yes, I have those moments. But it's Anna.
Yes,
Anna's my reset. Anna, who you did an interview with.
Yep.
She's our trainer, and I'll tell you, it's that Tuesday, Thursday mornings.
Yeah.
It's that reset. Like, okay.
Yeah, let's get back.
Yeah.
So I'll share my moment as well before we wrap up, but I want to get back to what changed for me. And that was you laid out for me a challenge. You laid out for me a vision of what I could potentially be. And you didn't just say you need to go to the gym or you need to get some training or you need to do this. You physically took and paid out of your pocket for me to have training for 3 months and gave it to me in a gift and said, here's my trainer, call her.
Yeah.
And that was the piece that was like, man, I got somebody else that believes in me, right?
Yeah.
I got somebody that wants this for me as well. And that moment in time shifted everything for me. And that is like, it was huge because you saw a vision.
You've changed.
Yeah, for
You've
sure.
changed.
Yeah.
Your energy, your everything.
Yeah.
You were telling me stories about how you're a baseball player and you're so athletic and you can do this and do that. And so it's Birdies for Butterflies.
Yep.
Anna donated, and I said, okay, I'm going to bid on this.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to bid on no matter what.
Yeah.
And I was going to win this.
Yeah.
And I had to give it to you.
Yeah.
And I implore you, though, for taking on and going with it. Now, how many years has it been?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
That's awesome.
He stuck to it. I'm so proud. Are you proud?
I am.
It's amazing what he's been able to accomplish. What about you, man? I want to hear your fat kid moment. I want to hear it.
Well, I'm going to hear Justin's fat kid moment, and then I'm
let's
going to
hear
give
the
you
fat kid
mine
moment.
is
His
that.
wife came over for dinner and the kids, they came
Okay.
over for dinner last Sunday.
Look how he's throwing me under the fence on his fat kid moment, throwing me in there.
I mean, I didn't say you
Nothing
did
but love.
anything bad, but
Oh my God, I'm a mediator between these two.
I remember
That's
a
awesome.
wonderful homemade chocolate
Oh.
cake.
Yeah.
Dang it.
And
She's amazing.
great frosting on it. And next thing you know, she's like, try this frosting. I'm like, cool.
It's also the cake, the frosting's all gone.
Scoop it.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
that
fine.
cake,
That's
we
big.
still have cake in the house. We didn't eat the full cake. It's still there.
That's impressive.
Which I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
We can get some other things. But we've been pretty good about it. But that fact about that was like just me sitting over a bowl of ice.
Right.
And you're just like, what am I doing here, dude? This is the dumbest shit ever. It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. So that was my,
Love it.
damn it.
So that's just this last week.
That was this week. That was Sunday.
But that is like figured out.
Yeah, she has Tuesday. He gets back at it. That's right. So, as you know, yesterday was my birthday. It was
Happy
great.
birthday.
Thank you. My mom is an amazing cook. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, right? I mean, her sweets are off the chart
No.
good. Anything she makes sweet wise, baking is just so good. And so she always asks me, what I want for my birthday. And usually I do a pistachio cake. I try to polish the whole thing off on my own. And this year I was like, Mom, let's not do the pistachio cake. I don't want to eat the whole thing on my own. I said, why don't you make me some homemade cream puffs, like from scratch, puts it together. It's way better than ones you get in the tub at Costco, whatever. She did. You guys, I'm going to tell you, in the last 2 days, she made 32 of those. And I ate about 15 of those in 2 days, right? So
awesome.
that on top of, yes, going to Justin and Piper's house, to celebrate my wife and my birthday, and then getting that cake that Piper made. I mean, it was a biggin' week. I'm going to call it a biggin' week is what that was. So with that said, I knew I was coming in here today. I'm now 43 years old. It's time for me to get it right. I've always been athletic, super competitive. I mean, my competitive nature is sometimes not healthy because I'm so passionate about winning, right? Because I don't think you ever step into a field of business to lose. You always step on it to win, right? That's just it. So I am going to win at this damn weight loss. So I'm just throwing it out there. And so starting today, I still got 6, what are they called? Cream puffs in the fridge.
Yeah.
I walked away this morning, didn't eat one. Hardest freaking thing I had to do.
I love it.
Boy, I mean, they might still be there when I get
Just
home. But starting to, so this is what I talked with Coral. If everybody doesn't ever see Coral, she's like our IT sitting behind, making sure we don't screw everything up, right? So number love for you, appreciate you. But I was telling her, like, I'm getting after it today. So I may have a fat kid moment, but they're not going to be near as fun in at least the next 4 weeks because I'm 204 today.
What's your goal?
I want to get down to 185 within the next, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks. And I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Because it's really what I'm putting in my body. The exercise is super easy. I'm just putting shit in the body.
That's it.
I talk to Anna about it all the time. It's diet, so much diet. It's so much. It's the alcohol. It's everything. It's everything you do. It's all that stuff. You know.
So anybody that wants to jump in on that,
I'm in with you. I'm in right now. Are you kidding?
let me know. Let's go.
Okay.
Send us a instant message. Let's
Yeah.
get after this and let's get it right over the next 4 to 6 weeks.
What are we doing? Weigh-ins every Friday?
Yeah,
We
weigh-ins.
take the
We have to
weigh-ins
do
or
weigh-ins
something?
every Friday. We'll talk
Okay,
about them
we'll
on the
talk
show.
about it. We'll talk about it?
Yep.
Okay. I need
Accountability, baby. Accountability. Yep.
I love it. I don't know how much you'll pay today, but I'll touch you guys later. I weigh myself a while, but I'll tell you.
We'll talk about percentages for you instead of actual weight loss.
Percentage fair.
There you
Love
go.
it.
Okay. All right.
Man,
Thank you
fun.
guys. This is great. You guys are amazing.
We
Amazing.
just love having good people on here. You have brought so much to the table for my life, for my family's life, for 150 other agents and staff's lives here. And what you do is not easy, and who you are is not easy to be, because I know you fight challenges of having to go all the time. It's who you are.
I appreciate saying, but this is we. This is we.
Yeah.
You guys have done the same to me.
Yeah.
You guys really have. It's this group has been amazing. We love you guys. It's we. I love it. I love it. And you too.
Thanks for bringing me in.
We're bringing them in here.
Well, I hope you guys had some fun, got something out of this. If you ever want to plug into Todd, he is super accessible, very busy dude, but he shares his time, his thoughts, his everything with anybody that he can to get full abundance mindset, being a go-giver. So if you need to plug into him, just go for it. Just reach out, just connect. Don't try anything. Just connect.
I did like the first 3 or 4 times. Just kidding. No,
Yeah,
no. Absolutely. I've met with you a couple times. It's been great. Love chatting with you. What you brought today was phenomenal.
Thank
So right up there, you may have surpassed Reggie. You
No,
watching Reggie?
Reggie's
Right?
the best.
That
Reggie's
was
still the best. Hashtag
legit.
Reggie Rivers.
So no, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you guys. Let's get some music going here.
We know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Hey, nothing but love for you guys. Have a great week. Pass the positive. Go get after it. Do good things in your life for people. And we'll see you next week.
Peace out, y'all.